If you're watching this video, chances are you have spent a lot of hours playing video games. Probably more than you wish you did. Maybe you're trying to quit the habit of spending so much time playing video games, and watching this video is really going to empower you to be able to do that, because I'm going to tell you fundamentally why they're so appealing, and they're not quite going to be the same after you watch this. So why do some people spend so much time playing video games? Why are they so appealing, so addictive, especially to young men? Well, there's the obvious reasons, like, oh, you get dopamine and it's very stimulating and this and that. But I'm going to share fundamentally why video games are particularly attractive to you rather than other things that give you maybe the same kind of stimulation of dopamine. Most video games are designed in ways where you have a character and you can level up this character and you can go on adventures with this character. And maybe you're going to war with this character, you're going on a quest to slay a dragon, and once you slay the dragon, you've leveled up and you become more powerful. Or maybe your goal in the game is to give this character more prestige and more wealth. You're getting like more loot. So you get to develop your character, right? That's attractive. Character development is appealing. And because you're playing the game, you feel as though it's you leveling up. Like when I was growing up, I remember Call of Duty was very popular. I don't know if it still is, but I remember the thing was like, oh yeah, man, I reached the first prestige. Oh, yeah, oh, you're only first prestige? Man, I'm like fourth prestige. And this gave people this sense of status over one another. I mean, it's literally in the name, like prestige, right? And that was like a big deal how many prestiges you got. So that's appealing because it gives you this sense of power. It gives you this sense of development. And that's a good thing. It's like we're getting better at something. It makes us feel like we're being adventurous when we go to slay that dragon, if it's not a game that involves, developing wealth and power, if it's more of an adventurous game. But a very common theme in almost all video games is that you're playing with some sort of character. And you're either going on quests with this character, you're going on adventures, or you get to develop the character in some sort of way. You get to gain power and status and this sort of thing. This is going to be very attractive, especially to young men, but to women too, because we've evolved so that these things, gaining power, gaining resources, going on adventures, going on quests, these things in real life are very fulfilling to humans, especially young men. And you can see that's true in that men are more attracted to movies about, war and adventure, whereas women are more attracted to movies about love, generally, not all the time, but generally. And you can also see the proof is in the pudding that a lot more young men are very addicted and sink a lot more time into playing these video games than young women do. And that's precisely why, because we've evolved to be attracted to those sort of things that we're getting in the video games, right? Developing resources, leveling up, character development. It makes us feel accomplished. But then we go and shut off the video game, and in real life, you haven't actually developed yourself. You've sunk a bunch of time into some fake world, some simulation. So it's all a facade. It's not real. I'm not saying you should never play any video games. If you have fun playing a video game every now and then and it's not actually hindering your life in any way, then sure, go ahead. But if you're sinking a lot of time and energy into these games, it's because you're getting the illusion that you're developing your character and that you're gaining resources and you're gaining power and you're gaining status and these sort of things that are attractive to you in real life. Put the video game down and start developing your character behind the controller. That is the more important character to develop. That is the character development that's going to actually make you feel fulfilled even after you turn the console off or the PC or whatever you're playing your video games on. So that's why video games are so attractive. That's why they're so easy to get addicted to. And now that you're empowered with that knowledge of why they suck you in, I want you to be aware of that. Next time you go on a little video game binge, be aware of the fact that you're just tricking your brain, and stay grounded in the fact that when you turn that console off, you haven't actually developed your real character very much. In fact, maybe it's like a step backwards when you think about it, right? You're spending time and energy doing something that's not actually going to yield you long-term results. So take your life into your own hands, kind of in the same mindset as that video game, if that's what it takes. Now, of course, in a video game, when you take these risks, when you go on adventures, you might die and then you get like another life. That's not the case in this life. But that's part of what makes adventures so thrilling. And that's also what makes them more scary in real life. And perhaps that's why you resort to the video games instead. Because when you take risks in real life, there's a lot more ramifications that are very real to you, right? Like maybe it means you're going to struggle to pay your bills a little bit if you take this risk. But in the video game, you just get to restart or whatever it is. So that's why maybe video games are more attractive to you, because the risks aren't as real, but the rewards, you're still tricking your brain into thinking the rewards are just as real. But I promise you, the rewards in real life are much more real than the ones in the video games. They're going to be much more fulfilling for you. So stop tricking your brain, and you have to make that adjustment of being willing to take the risks and facing that fear in real life. And that sense of adventure that comes with conquering fear in real life is much more fulfilling than going to slay the dragon in the video game. So now that you're empowered with that awareness of why it is that you're so attracted to these video games, I hope you have a much easier time reducing the amount that you play and quitting if you're trying to quit, and taking that search for adventure and that search for character development and apply it to your own life. Start developing your own character. The results are much, much more fruitful. That's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and subscribe to my channel for more helpful content. Thanks for watching. Take care.